Oh, they're for sale, it's gone.
So I don't know.
The maintenance guy.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome. Thank you for your attendance on this nice sunny deer hunting day.
Yeah.
And
Talking to Rob now.
so
He's in the deer stand.
I know that that's a large sacrifice to be here. Citizen Hanson is to join us from his deer stand office, but we don't hear him or whatever. Maybe he's busy.
Maybe he's gutting.
So we'll begin. Call to order. First item is to approve the agenda.
I'll move.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Did you get the originators? Any additions? Any additions? Deletions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. Next item is the minutes from October 22nd.
There it is.
Mike?
Is that Citizen Hanson?
I believe so.
It is.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You'll have to give us a report from your office.
Well, that's where I'm at. I'll ask my staff how the morning went.
Okay. Thank you for joining us. We're at the minutes. Do we have a motion?
I'll move.
There's a motion by Councillor Kaler, seconded by who? Commissioner Roach. Any additions, deletions, corrections? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good, thank you. Next item is the treasurer's report. Treasurer Kaler.
Yeah, first to have the cold weather testing. There is a transfer of $20,000 to KEDA, and everything seemed to be in order and match up, so I'd recommend accepting the financials.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
if I could just elaborate on a couple of items in there. You'll see a couple of larger items as we prepare for the test season, and one of them is DRI, and that's the refrigeration company out of Grand Forks that has been providing us with those services. And that's an annual, they go through and check everything, and we had to replace some motors, fan motors this year, and so it's a little large, but that's $13,000. And then Kennedy Electric continues to do some electrical work on lighting and some long overdue updates to the building. And then the very last one on the next page is Sabra Canfield, and that's actually Tim Jackson's daughter, who has actually been working with Tim last year and the year before, and she is now taking over his role. So she's been on the ground with one of our test customers and then doing some work in preparation. So those are all in, as I said, getting ready for the test season. We also had some painting done over there in the small shop. It looks fantastic. It's long overdue. If anybody ever wants to go over and check it out, please just let me know. We can certainly arrange that. But thank you, Mr. Chair.
And what did you say with the shop? You at the end of last improvement?
Here.
Yeah, no, I saw that, but
Oh,
You can get a bill, yeah.
Sabra or painting?
no, you said I don't know. You said general maintenance, but I saw that. I mean, she's taking her dad's place.
Yes, yes. So she was monitoring our test group in here, changing the temperature, working with Tim on process, so she's going to be terrific. But as I said, it's really hard to replace Tim, but she's doing a good job. So.
Yeah, but she'll have somebody to back up on and ask questions if she needs to.
Yes,
Major.
yeah.
How's he doing?
He's doing okay. You know, he's being treated, and there are times when things are going pretty well, and times when treatment's tough. But he's a tough old bird, and he's feeling pretty good.
Good. Any comments, questions of Treasurer Kaler? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good, thank you. Continue, please.
All right, next I have Nikita financials, and everything seemed to match up and look in order, so I would recommend approving them as well.
All right? Any questions of Treasurer Kaler?
If I could,
Is that
Yes,
a motion, and does it need a second, or is it all in the same?
No, you don't need a second if it comes from
Okay.
the committee or the,
Okay.
so.
Mr. Chair, if I could, just one other item
Yeah,
to note on
please.
this. On the Kita side, if you look at page 4, budget versus actual, the total expenses, we're tracking very close to budget. So just wanted to point that out, that we are, and a lot of that's due in part to the work that Kyra does to keep us focused and keep those expenses down.
Okay. Any other comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good, thank you. Next item is the director's report. Director Nevin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Representative Scraba, for being with us. And thanks, Mike, for being there out in Birchdale.
Well, you gotta be here.
Yeah, we should meet there. Fairly quiet time, obviously, but a couple things I did want to report on. I did reference the cold weather testing, some of the work that's being done there. And I kind of want to continue to emphasize that, because that's the price to operate. It's expensive, and every year we have additional expenses, and at some point in time we're going to need to develop a larger fund, capital fund, for those improvements. The building's 30 years old. We've got 3 cold chambers that, and a lot of that, if you use something all the time, it just seems to be easier on it. But if you use stuff seasonally, it seems to be harder on everything, plumbing, everything. So, I mean, we're in good shape now going in, but, and we're looking forward to having Jaguar Land Rover back on the ground. They haven't been with us for a couple of years because of COVID and travel and all kinds of issues internally with them, but we hope to have 2 large groups from Jaguar Land Rover, so we'll have the Brits back on the ground, which is always good for the local economy. Couple of items. I recently met with local business partners that are acquiring an existing business, and they're planning a significant expansion of both products and services. It's really exciting for the area, because I think if you talk to a lot of folks, there's a need for what they're planning, and this will be rolling out here fairly soon at the end of the year. But I appreciate the fact they reached out and wanted to share it with me, and we looked at if there's any resources that we could provide. And the way that they're going about it, they really don't need any resources at this point, but was helping them with identifying some land parcels for future expansion. But it's exciting, and I look forward to their. They got a very, very, very good team in place. So, and then I also had a chance to meet with a commercial banker from National Bank of Commerce. They're fairly new. They purchased a number of smaller banks, and they're located in this old Steve Shermone law office on, is that 3rd Street? 4th Street. But he is actually a Falls native, based in Hermantown now, so he spent some time up here, but I provided him with an update on some of the projects over time that have gone on here, and he was very surprised at some of the economic activity, and he wants to be more active on the commercial side, and that's always a good sign when more capital is made available, and that local angle is always nice to have. So that was a very good meeting. And then our University of
And
Minnesota.
I missed, pardon me, what was the name of the owner of the,
He didn't say.
what?
He didn't say.
The business owner?
No, the banking.
Oh, the National Bank of Commerce.
NBC.
Yeah.
Marty Olson,
Oh,
The old Riverwood.
the old Riverwood,
Yeah.
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 Marty Olson, who is a 90
Yeah.
some grad.
90 or 89.
89, yeah. The University of Minnesota Extension, this move to action, the follow-up feature. We broke out as a group, as a small committee of economic development. One of the things we came up with for a countywide project is to interview people that have moved here recently or returned throughout the county, and interview them to get reasons why they moved, what predicated their move to Cooch County, what struggles did they have, what surprised them. And so we've identified a number of folks, and Commissioner Hanson is on our committee, as well as Fran Einerson, and we've got a pretty good group of folks, a pretty diverse group. But I did a practice, or my first interview with a woman that moved, or her and her partner moved to Mizpah, and she moved to Chisholm when she was a teenager, went on to college, went to UMD, got a degree, and actually worked with Veteran Services. So she was up and working with 6 counties, including Cooch. So she spent time up here in I Falls and in Cooch, working with veterans, matching them up with available services, and then moved with her partner down to a farm in central Minnesota, and then they decided to move back north. And they found a parcel on a little lake outside of Mizpah. And the cool thing is, he's from upstate New York, had a background in law enforcement, but he also worked with metals when he was younger, including blacksmithing. And they bought this parcel, and one of the outbuildings had an old forge in it. And they worked with Jenny Herman from our office to develop a business plan, because they had never thought that they were going to go in this direction. Mm-hmm. And KCDA, they got a grant to get their forge going, and now they're selling metal products. And she said that you couldn't have been more welcome in Northome and Mizpah areas. That was one of the reasons they moved here, was to peace and quiet, and to have a little piece of as Mike would say, heaven up here. But they found the people just really welcoming and friendly, and they're giving back to the community too. So great story, especially with some of those local angles, and using the office and the KCDA to help them along. And I'm going to take you up on that, Darcy. If we're going to do some interviews and tape them and then put them on our website, so that we have these testimonials about moving to Cooch County. So it was. I think our conversation was 45 minutes. She was talking about all the. Anyway, it was great.
that's kind of a revival of the North Span program, where it was the Welcome Home program.
Yeah.
And it actually was, that's how I enlisted them to help with United Healthcare. And that was many years ago, but it's the same type of program, and because it's easier to get someone to come back that's been here, that likes the area, the community, than try to recruit new people. And that doesn't mean you don't recruit the new people, it's just that they are more willing to listen. They know the area, they know what to expect. And Marty Olson is the story.
Well, that's a good point. And all of us that have spent or live here and have lived here over time, you can hear the grousing about some of the negative stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's a great perspective to hear somebody that came in and said, "Oh man, this is this is great." And we know our neighbors, and our neighbors are helpful. They come over and they've been so it's kind of refreshing to get that positive perspective too, so.
Did you ever touch base with Bill and Jody? Those other folks?
Oh, no, I'm going to, they're on our list. I just started with her and just to kind of, we're going to be meeting with Mike and Fran. But no, I've got, they're on our list. And thank you for that. Senator Klobuchar was here last week. A group of locals had a chance. The mayor was there and some of the county folks were there. She does that as part of her annual 87 county visit. Mayor put on a happy face and was a good sport. And, always good to have those folks on the ground here.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
She's
at the
a
college.
marvelous senator, and I was sorry to miss it, but I was in the Twin Cities. But yes,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
good.
just the effort she's made to visit all the counties tells you something about her basis in Minnesota, her basic Minnesota. So yes, very good.
Just a reminder, this Wednesday, North Span is going to be at Cobblestone, and they're going to share information. They've done this Thriving Rural Network, or Rural Framework. I think the Aspen Institute created this list of things that help rural communities thrive in this environment. So they're going to share some of that information. I don't think it's anything that's going to be earth-shattering, but we'll take the opportunity to see what they've learned. Last Friday, I was contacted by a gentleman that I've spoken with in the past, thanks to Ricky, about purchasing a lot within our business park. I think it'll be a tremendous fit, and he's working with an architect and ready to move forward. So next month we will bring back a formal request to acquire the lot. It's lot number 2. So as you come into the business park, Ricky Roach's the old fish plant is there, one right across the 22nd Street there. So always good to see more activity in the business park, and as I said, it will be a very good fit. And so I'm looking forward to working with that gentleman in his business. And as we've been talking a little bit about ATVs before the meeting started, and I know there's been a lot of work on ATVs, and I think Ricky and I talked about that, and the mayor's talked about this, the study that they did on the impacts of ATVs on our region, and it's impressive. And so I'd like to invite Tommy Doherty, I had a letter of support that he asked for from this body for some of the work he's doing. But I know Commissioner Roach is working with Cooch in St. Louis, and there's lots of other folks that have been working on these trail systems. And it's that last connectivity between I Falls and the rest of the trail systems south. And so it's exciting. A lot of work has gone into that. So I want to just provide an update. I know the county is going to be touching on some ATV ordinance tomorrow in their meeting, so without giving anything away. So with that, I will answer any questions.
Questions for Director Nevner?
Did Donovan do that, his thing? He called me the other day.
Yeah, he's working on it, so we're going to do, yeah. And I wanted to talk to Kelly Myers too, because Kelly's always got, as the building inspector, always has good advice for, you know.
Any other questions, comments? Thank you, Director Nevin.
Thank you.
We'll begin the city-county, out-county updates. And we'll start with our virtual citizen member, Citizen Hanson.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. And I just got to see a deer that we've given the moniker of No Tail. And we've seen it for 4 years. And why it doesn't have a tail, we don't know. Did it get bit off by a timber wolf? Did it get caught in a barbed wire fence? Did it get shot off? We don't know, but we hadn't seen it all year until about 10 minutes ago. So we know it's at least 5 years old, and it just sauntered away. And other than that, my update is it's pretty easy, Mr. Chair. This is my 10th day of sitting from dark to dark, so I haven't had much conversation with the other counties.
All right? Any questions of, yes?
Hey, Representative Scraba here. Yesterday I was in my blind and I saw 4 federal dogs and 1 deer. Have you seen anything like that?
I saw coyotes the first day. They were about 400 yards away, so I just waved at them, and away they went, and I haven't seen any since. Though, if you go outside at night and start to siren on our plow truck, they'll join right in, and it'll be more than just a choir. They'll make quite the noise.
Yeah. There was 4 of them in a pack. They got within 50 yards of me. And they were curious. They were like, "There's something there, but I don't know what it is." The wind was right for me, not them, but they sensed something. But yeah, it's always fun to watch the animals in the woods.
I agree.
Where do you hunt, Representative?
In the Boundary Waters.
Okay.
Yeah, I go in a boat every morning
Ah,
when I hunt, and then walk a mile, and then set up and take down, and rinse and repeat.
there you go.
All right? Thank you. Next, we'll hear from the county. Commissioner Roach?
Like Paul was talking about the ATV stuff, we are the last joining leg of the ATV to make the big loop up here. I'm on the ATV Joint Powers Board, which I go to a meeting after this one here in Virginia. And we're working pretty basically hard to try getting this trail connection to International Falls. It's a $32 million study they said that the ATV world brings in every year. And we're the last connecting part of that trail to get up here. So then they'll be able to come all the way from Superior, Wisconsin, up the North Shore, through Virginia, all the way up, and be able to go all the way. Once they get past International Falls, they can go anywhere they want with our county roads and stuff up here. It's amazing.
And how far are you to get, how many more miles do you have to?
About a 3-mile stretch.
Oh, that's very close.
But
Yeah.
the 3-mile stretch is going to be through a swamp on an old ditch grade, so it's going to take major work.
Yeah.
But once that trail is done and connected, it will be major for the economy, the travel, which will also help, I believe, when Little Fork was looking at putting in a RV campground in the old Happy Land gravel pit. We get this trail connection going, and the 4 ATVs and stuff, that will just add to what their request is down there for their campground at the gravel pit. And then you got Big Falls, you got North Home, you got all the campgrounds down the thing. I mean, it's major. It's a major connection, getting this hooked up in International Falls.
Well, it sounds like you're very close.
Well, yeah, and then the county's got meetings tomorrow. We are doing it's a public meeting for tomorrow, so we can update our ordinance, so we can go from just ATVs to side-by-sides. And then they will up our speed limit to whatever the county roads are. If they're 40 mile an hour, the speed limit will be 40. If it's 55, it'll be 55. So all of our ordinance will match up with everybody else.
With all the other counties?
Yes. Yep. Our county jail is pretty much, they're on their punch list right now, finishing up that. We should be getting that signed off on, well, occupancy is supposed to be January 7th or 17th, one of the two.
Okay.
And then, so the jail is coming along quite fine. We went through a walkthrough with it the other day, and I was amazed at how much work and how much stuff is actually in that jail. Unbelievable.
Budget.
So, who do we call to reserve a room?
Well, I can set you up with that.
Follow me. I have no trouble at tracking that. You just follow me. I'll get you in there.
All right,
It's budget season.
Commissioner
and
McIntyre.
It's budget season, and we're, what, about 75% through our budget, and we're trying to cut as much as we can and still offer as much service as we can, and it's coming right along.
Good.
If I could, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I just noted, the Star Tribune today, every county in the metro is experiencing at least a 5% property tax increase. And Anoka County was 17%.
Yes.
And it's amazing. And I know a lot of other
St. Louis County is 12.4.
12.4.
I brought my property tax. What St. Louis County does is that on the backside, and I told the auditor, I said, this is genius. What she did, she puts all the communities and the percent change to compare where you are. You know, so it's like, if you want to be that community, that just keep raising it. No one will notice.
I need to take a copy of that.
Yeah, let's see that. And the reason I liked it, this is truth in taxation right here. This is transparency. This is, you know, you can take this how you want to glean it, you know, whatever you want. You got townships that are 0%. You got some that go down. School districts, you know, cut their budgets, you know. But then you've got some communities 22.8, 15 on top of the county. 12. Think of it like that. So it's a great tool. I really enjoy it, and I thought you would enjoy this. This is because every time I look at it, I go. As a elected official, if I was a city councilor or a mayor, I'd try to keep that number as low as I can, you know, because if you get it every year and you start watching what it goes up every year, you know, sometimes folks don't feel it, don't sense it, but when they see it, then they have like, hey, wait a minute, what are we doing? Where are we going? So, you know, and that goes into when we're legislating, we have to explain where we're spending the money and why we're spending the money. So I think it's important. We can never be transparent enough, in my opinion, because someone will always find a way to say, well, they got all the money under the table. You know, I've been doing this for 40 plus years. I've looked under every table. I've never found a dime under a table. You know, it's like, where'd that go? I was supposed to be rich. Yeah, you know. So I'll let you look at that. And then then they put that in there too, saying kind of where's your money goes. So.
Yeah. Healthcare costs were up 18% again this year.
Yep.
That takes a pretty good beating on the budget.
Have you noticed the providers, the different providers? Some hospitals aren't taking insurance companies anymore.
Yep.
And that, you know, this is new to me, you know, this part of the business. Usually we have administrators do it, and now that I'm in the role of actually setting this, it's kind of like going, wow, wait a minute, that's going to affect a lot of people. I mean, I think if I read right, Essentia is no longer going to take Blue Cross Blue Shield.
St. Luke's.
St. Luke's is not, or
I think that's what I read.
I thought it was the other way.
Well, it could be.
Yeah,
one of them-
and all that's what I'm saying is I'm confused.
Yeah.
Like it's so like what, you know? Now you got to sign up right now. Gee, you couldn't have said that in September. You had to say that in November. We're signing up, so it's like, you know, I'm sort of in a better position than most people because I'm a transient. I spent half my time in St. Paul, half my time in Ely, and I used Ely as my base before, and now I think I'm going to have to use St. Paul as my healthcare base, just because of the difference in insurances. And yeah, it's screaming. We have to reform something. Something has to give because we can't keep going up 18% a year. Imagine.
That's 2 years in a row.
Yeah, we were 17.6, I think, last year,
Yep.
and then they went 18 this year, and it doesn't look like there's any end to it. It
No.
just
And
keeps going.
you keep going to the people and say, well, this is what it is, you know, and they're like, yeah, but I'm not making any more money.
No.
You know, I'm not generating more income. It's getting eaten up with everything else. So yeah, it's something that we're all going to have to figure out because it's not it's your problem, you know, it's all of our problem. So we got to figure this out together. Go ahead, sorry. Sorry, Adam.
Yeah, part of that's a federal problem.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Thank you. From the city, Mayor Dale.
Well, to echo Adam, it's budget season, so I believe we have our truth and taxation meeting set for December 1st. So we've got a couple meetings to go. Can echo all the same things that you mentioned. Otherwise, getting ready for winter. There's some economic development green shoots out there. Some phone calls coming in, just inquiring minds and whatnot. And then I read from last month, the meeting I couldn't make in Big Falls. And clearly it's deer season because the report is short.
Yeah.
The band shall know. I haven't got to sit.
Yeah.
For the first time in my life, I had a heated deer blind and I sat sun up to sundown. Normally a leaf blows off a tree and I've got to go check it out. But the fact that Citizen Hansen has made it 10 days in a row dark to dark, that's quite
impressive.
It is impressive.
That's
So you
So
can't say whether he was sleeping or not.
that's true. So that's the report. The engineering is continuing. We're having the project engineered over on Riverview, which has been a long time coming. Whether we'll be able to complete the project or not next year is unknown, but we'll have it ready to go for when we have the money in the sales and use tax fund. And then last, the ambulance service, just want to thank everyone who's worked on that and understands the issue. There were 4 ambulances, I believe, Saturday or Sunday at the hospital. Everybody was called out. And the reason I'm talking about that at an economic development meeting is because I had a few people that wanted to get together that are older in the community, and they just brought up the points. If we don't have a good hospital, we don't have an ambulance and roads and fire, then we don't have any reason to live here. So seems like a step back, but I think it's a step forward, because we got to have people here that feel safe and can have their needs met before they can go take out a loan and start a business and get a hold of Paul and get rolling. So that's my report.
That pretty much covered. Just the scenes you spoke about, the bench, I'll bring it up. They're going to do boring in December sometime to see what they got so they can get started. And we got worked on some more plans. I think they're getting finalized here and there. Even farther, we had a meeting a couple of weeks ago, and there's going to put out 4 bids and whatnot. So on that, and Kerry Park's up and running, alive and well, busy. They had high school scrimmage Duluth East there Saturday morning, then had the hockey jamboree at the Bronco Arena. So the town has a lot of hockey going on right now. And speaking of healthcare, I happened to, you brought that in hospitals, and I happened to go to Grand Rapids for one day for the Coalition of Greater Minnesota Cities Conference. And the theme was healthcare, one of the panel discussions. It really wasn't anything we didn't know, but it was informative, and some things they're trying to do and work on, like the relief for the ambulance is a 2-year thing because it's biannual, so there'll be a little help there, but we still got to keep working along, like it's been stated, like you've all heard before, the Medicaid reimbursements and the runs, and everybody's problems are from not having people where they have a lot of programs, like Mayo Clinic actually hires EMTs and then trains them while they're working. But one thing, and I listened to all these things, they also talked about the medical industry in general. And sometimes we think we're a little backwards up here, just cause. But when they bring up like going into the schools and getting kids interested in the medical field, well, we've been doing that for a couple of years now. Or when the city and county and college got together to help with the nursing crisis in the program. So sometimes we're a little ahead of what's going on. And there's a good panel discussion about stuff in general. We had Senator Hochschild, Senator, I think it's Senator Durant from over like the Woods Way, and the senator from Hibbing. I can't.
Farnsworth.
Yeah, I knew it was Farnsworth or Flip. So I knew it started with an F. But yeah, but they had a good discussion about how it's tough, but also having this split government and even this close of how, as you know, right, work together and across to try and get things done and how important that is. But a big issue was the first thing that they talked about, especially Senator House, was ambulance and some of the things they've tried. Like he mentioned, he's tried or looking into, I don't know, of like LGA and county aid for ambulance areas, same type of aid is one way to look at. So that answers another couple questions. One, right, the importance of it is there. And two, that isn't what LGA is necessarily for, as we hear. So there you go. But it was good. It was worth the trip down, and heard some other things.
As you'll learn, there's a lot of ideas.
Oh, I understand.
And you throw it against the wall. Some stick, some don't.
Right. Yeah, and that's at least their ideas, and that one really piqued my interest. For the ones here.
The only thing I caution about that is like LGA, you become dependent on it, and it can go away in a heartbeat.
Well, I understand
Literally.
that.
And then if you take care of the ambulance, say within internal, it's way, in my opinion, it's way better because now you control its own destiny. No one else does. So I think that's it. It's nice to get help where we can, but to get on that, just so you know, there's a new one too, the tribal government aid.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's in line.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying I'm counting on it, looking for it. That was just an idea.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. All good ideas get vetted and talked about, but to stop whatever someone's doing because someone might do it.
Oh no! We do want to be dependent.
I know we're in the same position in Ely, Babbitt, Tower, everywhere I represent. Grand Marais, Silver Bay, Two Harbors, I Falls, Little Fork, Big Fork, all of them. They're all in the same boat. Every one of them. And how they manage it is different. BLS, ALS. It's quite interesting to be part of. So
Representative, just a question going in because it's a budget season. What's the state budget? What was it for 25, and what do you project for 26? Because I think people lose track, just like the city of Minneapolis, how big their budget is getting now, and the state. I mean, it just keeps.
Yeah, our budget grew by 40% after 23, and it's. I don't know how it's sustainable, but we're trying to make it work. The numbers in the last 3 months from the auditor are down. And prior to this, they were always up. Like sales tax, income tax, all those tax revenues were up always, and now they're down. And collections are down, and spending is up. What's next? Well, something's coming. I don't know. We're gonna have a session of reasoning. This next one, I'm really pushing for a bonding bill. I really want to see a bonding bill. I think it's important for the state to have bonding. I can't remember. Was there any funding available for your van shell, or what are you guys working off of?
Our insurance, right?
Okay, because I was at the Rotary meeting, and I was encouraging them to apply for legacy or LCCMR money, either one. Try to get some money for that project. Legacy, I think, is the best. That's the easier of the two. till we have a fundamental change in LCCMR, out of 103 million, over 50 million goes to the University of Minnesota for studies. And, it's fun to study and it's good and all that, but, we've got projects that need work on the ground that, in my opinion, a lot of people sign that thing saying good for the environment means biking trails, hiking trails, snow wheel trails, ATV trails, and maintenance of that. That's more what I'd like to see it spent on. But we'll see. We'll see how all the elections work out. But this session, I would, because it's an election year, because the speaker announced she's running, because there's more people announcing, we have another member running, we have other members running for other offices, I think you're going to see everyone just trying to get out of there. I don't see any major upticks.
That was kind of the message they gave at the
Right. And it's not that we don't want to do stuff. Sometimes it's better if we don't do stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, it's like it's interesting, but I've not heard anything on the bridge between Rainier and Canada. I know there's some issues that have always been issues, and I told the people in Canada that were designing or part of it what those issues were, and they're like, okay, we heard that from both DNR and the landowners, and I said, do you have a solution? And they just looked at me. I said, I have a solution. If you guys want to talk, we just need to build a underground weir down lower to the rapids on top with a big, at the height that, let's say you put more concrete than you need and you build a dam, then that thing should be so the lake can drain all the time. More water can leave rather than damming it up. And then when the lake levels off to where it should be, it doesn't take any more water. Like we do, the county does this for culverts where beavers dam up. You have that drain out in the middle of the pond. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about trying to do that. And then the Canadians filled in that whole point where the bridge begins. That was all lake. And over the years it just got filled in. I'm just saying, if you go underneath that whole thing down below the rapids, and the lady was like, that's not bad. Is that what they want us to do? I go, yeah, that's it. Yeah. That's like, I'm just trying to throw ideas out there to alleviate the issues, because if we don't start fixing them, it's just going to be this finger pointing, and no one cares, because big business just wants to do what they want to do, and the landowners on the lake are like, hey, we're tired of watching our docks float away every spring. Something has to give. So other than that, trying to think. I've been just stupid busy in St. Paul with LCCMR. I'm on a committee, a task force for foraging, picking. Well, we're still trying to define what foraging is. Okay, what we always use foraging as like mushrooms, stuff like that, and others are saying, well, blueberries and raspberries, and birch bark and maple syrup, and all the plants in the woods, that's all. And we're like, whoa, that's not the scope. We wanted to narrow this down to the mushrooms. That was the issue. And so we're still working through that. I'll be down there tomorrow and Wednesday for that. But in the beginning, they wanted to have licenses for doing all that. And I said, I introduced myself as a representative of the area, and I said, if anyone thinks that they're going to have a license to pick blueberries and raspberries and that, you got to go through me, because I'm not going to vote for it. I don't care. You can make all the cases you want for it. I am not in favor of it. The people that elect me are not in favor of it. I don't know where you guys think that that's even commonsensical, but no. Steve Green sitting next to me, Senator Green, goes, here. It was like, we were both like, no, we're not here for that. And the DNR, I remember the day sitting in a meeting, Tom Bach was the chair of Senate Environment Committee, and the DNR walks in and they got a 3-ring binder this thick on how to set up a licensing for blueberries and raspberries. I mean, this is not new. This is they just need to generate more income, and I'm like, no, hell no.
Do
No.
they make any distinction between commercial? and-
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, and right now the rules are if you're commercializing, you have to tell them what you're doing, and you can still do it, but then you pay accordingly with
Yeah.
commercial. It's just they're trying to tie in the folks that natural, like you pick a bag of morels, like a bread bag, you get it. Oh, I can't eat all them, so I give them to my friends, and you know now they're like, oh yeah, well, you know, that's almost commercial. No, it's not. You know, sorry. You know, the tall buildings make people think different, and I'm happy they come here, and like that lady, she moved here just because I want to get away from it, you know, and maybe some of them just need a longer holiday up here, and maybe they go back there and leave us alone more. We'll see. But other than that, I don't know if you have any other questions for me. I don't. I'm going to be gone for the month of December. I'm going back to the motherland. I'm going back to Slovenia, and I'm going to go hang out in Europe and see what that's like. And never been there. My grandfather and grandmother came across the boat, so I'm going to go back and see what they left. And I'm kind of doing what they did, if that's even possible. But I mean, I know nothing about where I'm going, what I'm doing. I'm just kind of going there.
Do you have any connections?
Yes, we have family.
I mean family history, or where you can go to where they originated?
Yes.
Okay.
We have 3rd and 5th cousins. I have my cousins from the States that went over there last year and spent 72 days and had a ball. And
Okay.
so I said, yeah, I'm going to go. I just...
So you'll be visiting graves? And,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And living cousins.
Sure.
You know, the whole thing. But it's mainly now the whole Europe as Europe is starting to generate buzz. You know, and I'm like, I was hoping December would be like a month that nothing happens, you know. I don't want to go over there and
Be part of the buzz?
yeah, end up being, you know, like I can't get back. I gotta be here. You know, it's like, you know, I just want a nice, relaxing. You know, what do you got to do tomorrow? Not a meeting. Although they're already zooming, trying to get these Zoom meetings already lined up, and it's like, yeah, we'll see.
Middle of the night.
Yeah. I'm like, sorry.
Okay. Thank you for your
thank you.
report.
Yep.
Thank you for being here.
Yep.
The next meeting, if we do the 3rd Wednesday, and I don't know how that fits in your schedule now, is the 17th, which is our normal meeting date. We've met now on this Monday because of... So do you have any conflicts with that?
Wednesday the 17th, I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay. All right. And you'll be at a bar. And
Yeah.
so, okay.
I might be too.
I might be in Austria. I might be in Italy. I might be in Croatia. I might be in Slovenia.
Do you want to call in?
We'll see. It's on my schedule. No. I'm going to avoid that.
All right.
I'm not going to protect everyone. No.
Thank you. Thanks for your attendance. We'll see you in December 17th.